Hello, my name is Chandra McLean Burgess. I am the third of three children born to Marguerite and William McLean Jr. I am so excited about this class, although I don't know how I feel about making this recording. Something about my voice and my vernacular, I'm just not often too keen about or too excited about. But since I must, I will. When thinking about my personal narrative, I don't know, I went in several directions on what I wanted to say. As I must admit, I'm always the type of person that's looking out for others and thinking about others. And that now that the spotlight is shining on me, I don't know how I feel about it. The previous assignment, particularly the self-assessment, had me digging into the corners of my mind and my memory bank and thinking about things that I hadn't thought about in years, if ever. Oh, like the fact that my parents were together for 9 years of my life. However, many of those years I lived with my grandmother, and then they divorced when I was 9. And so I don't know how that really impacted me, or I didn't think about it until the self-assessment. I spent a lot of time alone or by myself. My mom was working a lot as a single parent. My dad was in a different home. My siblings, there's a 5 and 6 year difference between us. So even though I'm not an only child, I think I was reared and I operate as if I'm an only child. And because I had to be home a lot by myself or do things a lot by myself, including walk to school and go to school, I think I learned a lot of self-reliant type of behaviors. Well, however, I think those self-reliant behaviors have really helped me adjust in my adult life because unfortunately, my grandmother that I aforementioned, she died when I was 18. My mother, unfortunately, cancer took her away from me at the age of 21. And then my father, hypertension and high blood pressure related illness, he died when I was 26. So I guess that self-reliance that I developed at a younger age helped me as an adult. So I've been doing the adulting thing since I was 21, 22 years old. Um, my sister, when my mom died, gave me $100 and my mom left me her car, which was a Hyundai. So I had $100 in a Hyundai, and that's where my life began. I went to law school, FSU Law. By the time my mom died, I had already gotten through my BS and my master's in criminal justice. So those are some things, my educational background are some things I'm really proud of. Those are things that my mom instilled in me. She was a master level college graduate. And she always stressed the importance of education. So from a child, I always knew that I would go to college. And so I graduated high school at age 17. From what she told me, I skipped a grade. I went from kindergarten to second grade because of my intellectual abilities. And so I graduated high school at 17. I got my BS at age 20, my master's at age 21, and I graduated law school at age 25. So needless to say, I really enjoyed school and I went through it fairly quickly. Shortly after law school, I married and moved to Miami. It was supposed to be for a year, but I've been in Miami for 26 years now. My husband tricked me. He's from Miami, and that year has turned into 26 years. I worked in juvenile justice. Being that my mom was no longer living, I no longer felt the need to live out that dream to be that attorney that I told her I would be when I was age 9. But I was glad that I had the legal or the law school background. It's helped me much. The degree and the knowledge that I gained has helped me much throughout my life. And in working in juvenile justice and juvenile law, I saw the need from adolescence standpoint mostly, because the smaller kids were getting adopted out of the system, but the teens, nobody wanted them. So I started working in independent living. And then I decided I wanted to do my own nonprofit so that I could help in the ways that I chose to help and fill in some of those gaps. So in 2001, at the age of 31, I founded CMB Visions Unlimited, nonprofit organization with a mission of assisting disadvantaged youth and families by providing quality resources, goods, and services to help them empower themselves and lead better, more happy, and fulfilled lives. So I've been doing that for the past 20 years. March 15th, 2021 was made 20 years that I've been doing this. I have a staff of about 40 and an annual budget of about $1,175,000. So I'm very proud of that accomplishment. Mind you, that's a budget, and a lot of that is cost reimbursement funding. So if you know anything about that, you know that while great and good, it's still a challenge. So that's pretty much who I am and what I've been doing and the things that I'm most proud of. It's just my husband and I, we're empty nesters. And I think that's part and parcel of the whole thing of losing my mother at a young age. So I just, the motherhood thing, I just never really approached that. And I think that ship has sailed. But I enjoy my work with the children that I serve. So they're not biological, but I have many, many children by way of my profession that I work with. So I'm pursuing my PhD, one, because I kind of miss school. I wanted the challenge. And though I have my JD, a PhD is something that I've always wanted. I am thoroughly enjoying the subject matter that this degree brings. Again, leadership, being a nonprofit leader, CEO, and founder for the last 21 years, the things that I'm learning in the class are things that I never thought about, even my leadership style. And I see that it morphs and changes just as the discussions about leadership and which practices are most effective and how they've evolved over the years. And so now with this course, this interpersonal, I'm looking at myself in ways that I've hadn't even thought about. So I'm enjoying the journey and looking forward to continuing it. My name is Chandra McLean Burgess. I'm the founder and CEO of CMB Visions Unlimited, Inc. And that is my personal narrative.